Water signs, I hope that you are all doing well and that you're having a good week. My cat is trying to eat my plant, and I'm trying to make sure that she isn't going to bite it. It looks like she's going to choose to lay down instead. I want to take a look at your upcoming November with my Lenormand cards and with my White Newman Tarot. We're going to take a look at my Lenormand cards first, and I'm going to do a portrait spread with them. These are the 7th Sphere Lenormand cards from Labyrinthos. Not all the messages that I give today will resonate. Some may not. If some messages don't resonate, just leave them be. Let someone else pick them up. I appreciate you watching today. Okay, folks, your central theme for this month is about your social circumstances. It lands on the House of the Tree, which is about deeply buried things that come to the surface decades after we've planted them. We don't see a seed growing roots. We don't see the roots of the tree growing unless, it starts to come up over the ground, for instance. But something has been deeply growing now for a while. I'm getting the feeling, water signs, that this is coming from a lot of y'all's childhoods. Those current social circumstances that you're going through right now are imitating what you encountered in your family of origin. Spirit absolutely wants you to break those habits for this month. But let's take a little bit more on what's going around your central theme. It looks like this month, your social connections are going to give you a bunch of teachable moments about staying loyal to them this month, water signs. Pisces, you're coming to mind. Scorpio, you're also coming to mind. Cancer as well. So Pisces came through first, probably because they might feel it the strongest, okay? Take it as it resonates. Your social connections don't like you. They enjoy bullying you. It feels good to them. If you hear stuff going on outside, water signs, I'm sorry. Apparently I've got some construction going on outside my apartment. I see a deeply childish individual, a male individual, or a more masculine individual. This could be she, him, they, their, all that kind of thing. It could be any gender pronoun if you wanted. But this person has all the control over your social circumstances. I saw in October's read that this might have been someone that you have spent decades with, that you've been with for a very long time, and that you're very comfortable with them. I note that they are in the house of the rider. They take advantage of opportunities as soon as they see them. That is that Aries energy that I saw in the Emperor in the October water signs read. There is a consistent theme here. You are going to have to deal with the consequences of being together with this person for at least this month. Spirit would love to see you leave sooner. This is someone who has not grown up. It's a kind of Peter Pan individual, runs away from any kind of adult thing, any kind of adult emotion. This person isn't good with their emotions at all. The only thing that they really want to handle is anger. Any other emotion is not masculine for this individual. Water signs, you may have attracted an earth sign or a fire sign, like we mentioned with the Aries, but also an earth sign. They move quickly to take control here. And it's like they're coddled. It's like his family thinks it's cute how he behaves. It's like they pat him on the back when he like screams at them or something. Like he abuses them and they like pat him on the head and say, "Oh, there, little Johnny," or whatever. It's like his family both invalidates and like approves of his behavior. It's so weird. Like they invalidate where it's coming from, but they approve of the show. It's so odd. The person that you're together with has some things that he really, really, really wants out of this relationship. And it wouldn't matter who he was with. It could have been you, water signs, or it could have been someone else entirely. I'm seeing that he's repeated this cycle over and over and over and over, not just with romantic partners, but with friends, with family members, with coworkers, with bosses, supervisors. It doesn't matter. He's repeated this cycle over and over again. I'm getting for some people, it's even pastors, like clergy, like members of the clergy, or like a priest or an imam or something like that. Like, this is how this guy operates. He demands loyalty. He will demand loyalty at all costs into the future because he's a petulant kid who's in an adult's body. This man has abdicated anything to do with the role of the upright emperor. I am seeing that you are contractually married, or at least contractually connected to this person. For some water signs, this might be more of a business transaction, like y'all are in this for the money, for the resources, and not necessarily because this is where your heart is. Also, it just might be ultra familiar. You know, like, I remember there was an experiment with some baby monkeys where they would, like, put bottles on stainless steel stands or something like that, but then they would, like, give them teddy bears to cuddle, but there wouldn't be anything that would feed them on the teddy bears. And they discovered that the baby monkeys would rather starve and be held by the teddy bears than eat from the stainless steel stands. And I could be completely misconstruing what happened in that study, but I remember that much. And I feel like that's what's going on with you, water signs, that you'll hold on to something warm and fuzzy, even if it was never able to nourish you. That's kind of what I'm getting right here. He has learned that he can do what he wants as long as he is connected to you in some way or fashion. And it could be with like paperwork, like as a marriage license, for instance. It could be a restraining order. But somehow this individual wants to be a part of your life, water signs, even long after you've left it. They want their name appearing on your paperwork somewhere on down the line, decades after you're done with them, if you are done with them. Now, this is interesting. This is part of his self-actualization. I'm sorry that it's so much about this individual, but I feel like a lot of your energy, water signs, has been crammed out because it is stagnant. It is flowing. Not flowing, I should say. It should be flowing. It's like he's overpowered who you are, what you wanted, any aspirations you had in the past. It's almost like you've just given up and you folded. This is just too difficult. This is familiar and what you wanted, but it also isn't what you wanted, not truly. Spirit, what else would you like me to see here? Okay, let us move on, folks. I'll leave that out. Put that on over the side. Let us take a look. Let's do a Celtic cross. Okay. Your central theme for the Celtic cross is the Two of Wands in reverse. These are two people who are not working together. One is overpowering the other. There is fire in this connection, but it's a grass fire. It's not a contained fire in a fireplace, for instance, right? The safer version of fire. The safe, useful version of fire, I should say. In November, you might have a tower moment coming. For some water signs, it might be that your partner is unfaithful to you this month, and you might discover that. You might wonder what effect your loyalties had to this individual. I'm getting that they don't care so much about you as having power, because that satisfies that child energy. I get to have control over the situation. I get to have as much candy as I want. I get to have what I want. I get to have my way. It might not be an affair. It might be that he's leaving you in the dust for something that he really, really wants. And again, I'm getting the picture of leaving you for another feminine individual, possibly another feminine individual, maybe more masculine. Again, there is no gender in this kind of stuff. You need to take this as it resonates. If he leaves, water signs, don't bring him back. Let him go. Even if you cry the Mississippi River over and over, dude. Don't bring him back. The warm and fuzzy teddy bear cannot nourish you, man. I see you offering kind of a cup of love, like there was a new start to this relationship at the very, very beginning. I'm getting that you were excited about that. And he was excited too, in the childish way. I'm getting my way after all. It's that leaving. This tower moment is what's going to cause you to leave. I know you can see what's on bottom now. That was the Lovers. That's you, folks. In this case, it is meant to be interpreted literally as a pair of romantic partners. And I saw in October that you and this individual right over here, don't make it apparent to anybody around you that something is seriously going on under the surface. On the surface, it looks like you guys are cute together. Picture perfect couple. You've been together for decades. You went through some tough shit. Now you're back together. They don't see how things are falling apart on the inside. They don't see how chaotic you feel on the inside. They don't feel how stagnant, how trapped, how caged you might feel. This tower moment is going to crush that cage if you let it. If you do not bring this individual back into your life, you might be able to escape the cage. Not just his cage, but his cage. If you're able to heal and learn more about why you're attracted to people like him, you might escape the capital T, capital C, the cage, and not just what he wanted to do for you. You'll escape most, if not all, situations because you'll be thinking of yourself as the Empress. You know what? Both as the Emperor and the Empress together in one person, in balance, in perfect balance. I believe everyone's balance is up to them, different for everybody. The universe is still at work underneath this situation. It still sees footholds and places to climb up that wall to get to you. You are here on this earth to do something, and it has nothing to do with this individual right here. If you allow this to become a chapter in your story, this tower moment is going to be wonderful, awesome, even for you. And I know that we don't usually associate awesome with the tower moment, but this tower is in reverse. To me, it's here to assist you, not just to tear you down. The universe is not here to tear you down. It wants you to do these wonderful things that it has set out for you. You might think that you don't have any help to leave. I promise that you do. I promise that you do. Spirit is leaving out people who might feel like a last resort for you, but in fact they are people to invite you into this warm building. I know that it's not in this Five of Pentacles, but in the original Rider-Waite-Smith, it is. You do have people that you think of as the last resort who are actually that warm building that you can just open the door and walk into. You can do that now. You are deeply burdened. Those are your external circumstances. You feel it on the inside and the outside. I was saying earlier about how you felt compressed, smashed into a corner, that kind of thing. I absolutely see this destroying you from the inside out. You're afraid of starting new with a person. We had talked about the old and familiar feeling better than something unfamiliar, but that still fed you. Little monkeys don't always need milk. They grow up and they can eat, I don't know, whatever they eat. Trees, grass, bugs, I don't know what they eat. They're not always going to be in those kinds of environments where they need nourishment and comfort in the same place. There will be a day, what I should say is finding nourishment and comfort ultimately should come from your spirit guides and from your ancestors, from the universe, from the God that you worship, that kind of thing. Excuse me. But starting something new is going to be a challenge for you. I can feel that. But I can also feel how much you really, 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 really need and want this new beginning for yourself. I'm getting floodwaters. I'm getting like a pond with waves smashing on the side. It's a pond, but there are waves in the pond and it's smashing over the side. Like when I live in Texas, and you know what we have here in Texas are hailstorms. I used to live on a farm, and I remember seeing a pond on our farm and seeing hailstones splash into the pond, right? And there weren't big hailstones, but they gave kind of a wave-ish effect, and it was just really, I couldn't look away, right? There was a hailstorm going on. You're supposed to be away from the windows. I couldn't look away. That's the effect that I'm getting here. Something with this tower moment is going to splash your waters over the edge, and it will be far more difficult to be stagnant. I'm actually seeing the banks of your pond like tearing open. There's so much rain in this image that I'm getting here. Again, it's water signs, right? But there's so much rain falling from the sky. It's like you're flooding over the banks. You can't be contained anymore. I'm hearing a lot of screaming. I'm hearing a lot of crying, a lot of fighting. It's possible that there are some people who are actually hitting each other. I'm hearing people hitting each other when I'm thinking about your situation, water signs. So if you can get to a shelter before it gets physical, that would be ideal. But water signs, I am feeling some of you being hit. I'm hearing some of you being hit. I'm hearing some of your pets, some of your kids being hit. Physically. Like this man is physically kicking them, punching them. You have a hard journey ahead of you. Make no mistake, but just because the Chariot is in reverse doesn't mean that you shouldn't go on this journey. You have a hard journey out because you went back to this individual and the universe tried their best to get you away from them. And now it's like the universe is having to run a rescue mission. It's an emergency mission because they really, really wanted things to not get to the awful point that I'm feeling like it's going to get to this month. I'm feeling like for water signs it's going to escalate around the American Thanksgiving holiday. If you can run to a shelter, I'm serious, dude. If you can gather up your pets, your kids, anything that you consider valuable, and please reach out for help. I'm seeing that you can't do this alone, water signs, that you're past that point. You have to reach out for help here with the advice card. This tower moment's going to force you to do it. Water signs, I hope that you're okay this month. I hope that the physical abuse part didn't resonate with anyone, for real. Water signs, I hope that you have a good month. I pray that your ancestors, that your spirit guides rescue you. And I hope that you listen to them and stay away from these kinds of situations forever. Take care.